Hello and welcome to the rather long-awaited return of the Jimny Diaries. Yes, we're in the workshop, different workshops, I think, where you've ever actually seen the Jimny before. But we're in the workshop because it's time to sort out the front brakes on the Jimny. And let me tell you, they are in a real pickle. They are about as thick on the rotor as a cupcake case and about as effective as stopping as winding down the window and blowing. So it's worthwhile time to get them swapped. And we've got some parts. The parts are down here. Been online, done some online shopping. Probably should have waited until Black Friday to have ordered them, but that was yesterday. I wanted them ready for this weekend, so oh well. But what we've got in this box is a lot of cardboard wrapping, and as you can see, some Brembo brake parts. Lovely high-performance brake parts for a not at all high-performance car. So, as you would have figured out, the plan is we're going to strip down the front end, take off the old brake rotors, take out the old brake pads, new rotors in, new pads in, and hopefully the car will now stop a lot better than it currently does, which isn't good. So what will probably follow is a time lapse with me interjecting at moments as I run into inevitable problems. Okay, we have got much of the, well, I've got the caliper, the cradle and the pads off of the car. This is the caliper. So that is the condition it's in. It is a bit manky, but there's plenty of actually fresh and good condition metal actually within it. It's just got a big coating of crud. But yeah, it fought us a little bit coming off. All the bolts were very much stuck in, but again, you can see the actual shank of the bolt, really good condition. It's just where the head essentially welds itself shut with mud and grime. The next problem we're facing is how to actually get the rotor off of the hub, and there's nothing actually pinning it to the hub apart from, well, very much its own grime at this point. It sort of welds itself down with mud and dirt. But there are two holes on it, and if you use an M8 by, I think it's 1.25 bolt, you can sort of screw them in. Essentially it works to push the rotor off the hub. So I'm going to go find somewhere in the workshop we've probably got M8 bolts kicking around, and whack them ends. Hopefully that will start to sort of shuffle the hub off. Wait and see. Okay, so we've got the brake disc off, and as you can see from this edge of it, it is very rusty, and there is not a lot of meat left to it. It's sort of dipping in on this side and this side beneath the rust line. It's also full of crud on the inside, as you can see. It always amazes me as well, the fact that brake discs aren't actually bolted to the hub. They just sort of sit on the wheel lugs and are held in place by the sort of pressure of the wheel. That, for some reason, baffles me. But we've got it off. We couldn't find an M8 bolt to do it, but we did just use the bolts that hold on the caliper. They fit perfectly into the two additional holes on here, and you just sort of tighten them up piece by piece, and they just sort of slowly walk the rotor off of the hub, and ta-da, it's free. This is proving to be suspiciously stressless at this point. Nothing's gone particularly wrong, which isn't usually how this sort of thing goes when I'm doing it. But anyway, we've got brake disc off. I'm going to quickly clean down the remains of the hub, and then we can start reassembly with the fresh Brembo rotor and pads. So, okay, here's a question. Can you exchange the words rotor and disc as you go through, or does the rotor simply refer to one element of it, or vice versa? Answers in the comments, but I'm just going to keep using the words disc and rotor interchangeably. Look at that, that is a heft of metal. Okay, project update. Bonnet's up because we're going to just put some rag around the brake fluid reservoir, just in case when we push the piston back on the caliper, it bubbles a bit out. Hopefully it won't, but better safe than sorry. Down here though, we've got, as you can see, we've got a fresh rotor onto the hub, got some fresh pads into the carrier or the cradle, and we've got the caliper there ready to go back on. I need to push the piston back in it. And before I do that though, I want to torque up the bolts that sit around the back of the cradle that hold it to sort of the whole hub assembly. They go to 85 Newton meters, and the ones that go through here, the slide bolts, are 22. But I've sent producer Ian off to go and find the high-spec torque wrench to get this one torqued up, and then we'll torque that one up once we've pushed that piston back in. And then that is one corner done. Then it's very much a case of rinse and repeat for the second.